going, we don't need roads.
Ride or die, and welcome back to your ultimate film-obsessed podcast experience, the show that will finally prove that movies are the future. I'm your host, Harry Sweeby, joined once again by Mi Familia.
Declan Wilson.
And Dragon Saman.
From
Movies
Of
the
Future.
Wow. One word at a time today, guys. It's going to be a long
It's a team
episode.
effort.
But to make up for it, we're joined by sexy/sneaky Kurtis. Over in the corner there. How are you feeling?
I'm good.
That's good. What are your thoughts on the Fast and Furious franchise as a whole?
As a whole, I think not too much of it, but
Sweet. So it's pretty easy to rank them, I guess.
Yep.
That's pretty good. There you go. Well, that is what we are going to be doing today, if you couldn't already tell. We'll be ranking the Fast and Furious franchise from best to even better because of the release of the latest film, the ninth film of the franchise, Hobbs Shaw, which is an okay film. I think
Yeah.
we would agree.
Guess we'll get into it.
We will
Yeah.
in spoilery detail. So if you don't want anything spoiled for you, which there's not much to spoil, but a couple of big cameos you might want to not have spoiled for you. So we'll be going through that today. Speaking of today, let's stop wasting time and let's dive into it. Although real quick, the podcast is brought to you by theslopshack.com. Head over there, check out our other podcasts, subscribe to the channel, leave a like. It would really help. So do it. Also head over to their Instagram page. And then just follow Kurtis on, I don't know, Tinder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, Tinder was that.
Alright, let's get into it.
So-
How are we going to run this?
I reckon because there's 9 movies, we should do bottom 5 and top 4. Maybe?
Okay, alright. I like that.
Okay.
I dig
Cool.
it.
So what are your bottom 5, Kurtis, from 9th
Oh,
to
my bottom 5.
5th? Yeah.
I gotta get that
we're
up.
well
We're well prepared on this podcast.
Alright, so I got from
Number
bottom.
9.
Yeah. So I got number 4 as my worst one. And then I put number 2 as my second last. And then
Okay.
1. And then 3.
Ooh.
Yep. And then Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay.
Interesting.
I guess we'll get to that discussion soon.
Huh.
In 9th place for me is Fast and Furious, the 4th one.
As well.
Not for the
Just
reasons.
so wrong.
It was pretty much always my last, but it's not for the reasons that it was before. Number 8, Too Fast, Too Furious.
Wasn't
Number
Furious
7,
before you?
The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. And number 6, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. And number 5, The Fate of the Furious.
Alright.
Mm.
For me, at number 9, I also had Fast and Furious 4. Number 8, I had Tokyo Drift. Number 7, I had Fate of the Furious. Number 6, I had Too Fast, Too Furious. And then at number 5, I had Hobbs and Shaw.
Alright, well, I mean, look.
Okay.
Let's see how this goes. So, at number 9, I have Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh.
Last on the list. Sorry.
Get into
At
it.
number 8, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Okay.
At number 7, Fast and Furious 6.
What?
It's the third worst.
Whoa. I'm going to hold back a bit. We're gonna
Jeez.
see
And
the
then at
rest.
number 6, Furious 7.
Yeah.
Number 5, Fast and Furious 4.
Damn. I want to hear more about this Fast and Furious 6 being so low.
Well, it's... Yeah, alright, we'll get into the actual discussion now. The point is that Fast and Furious 6 isn't that bad. It's not that I tried to put Fast and Furious 6 in number 7. It's just that there are movies that I think are better than Fast and Furious 6. And then there's 2 movies that are definitely worse, which are Too Fast, Too Furious and Tokyo Drift. So unfortunately Fast and Furious 6, which is a pretty good movie, sort of just gets sort of like stuck into this sort of the middle section.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not necessarily a bad movie. When I think back on the franchise, to me, it's just the least interesting one.
That hurts.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I find that their production value went up definitely as they got more into
Yeah,
it.
5, 6,
Especially, like,
7, 8.
I'd even say it started in 4 because that was like after going back and rewatching the first 4, like that's where it felt the most different. Like number 4, it felt like they were testing the waters in like that crime sort of action stuff. And like 9 was, I mean, Fast and Furious 4 was the last for me for a long time.
Yeah.
And back then it was for reasons that I just thought it was boring. The finale was just nothing. But then after going back and rewatching it, it's a pretty solid movie. And again, like I don't not like any of the movies on here. Like you said, it's from best to even better. But number 4, it felt really quick. It kind of felt a bit fillery to me.
Kind of forgetful.
Yeah, forgettable.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me. It's just that when I think about Fast and Furious, I think about Tokyo Drift before Fast and Furious 4. It's just so far.
I suppose I tried to sort of rank them in terms of like actual quality as a movie, and I think that like so I watched all of them back to back at the start of the year, and when you do that like in that very like rapid fashion, you really realize that like the reason I used to like not like Fast and Furious at all, like I would put it at the bottom of the list.
Yeah,
I totally would agree. But then watching it where you start off with, you know, the first movie, which is still like, I still think really holds up and is a really good movie. And then you don't see like Dom or Mia or Letty or any of those characters for 3, like, you know, for like Fast and Furious, like 2 Fast and Furious and then Tokyo Drift. So the time you get back to them, like you've actually genuinely missed them. And like you've had like some kind of like iffy characters along the way you don't really care about. So by the time you get back to them, I actually really enjoyed the dynamics, because Fast and Furious, the first one, ends with this big thing of like he betrayed the family, and like there's the whole thing with Dom, and like I feel like the characters when they get reunited actually have something interesting to deal with, and it's the last time they really have, at least Brian and Dom, actually have a character arc. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true.
And it all culminates in that moment where they have that huge fight.
In the middle of the movie.
And like there's how Brian is like involved with the whole death of Letty, and like it's just and seeing them just sort of become friends again was just like really good. And I think like it doesn't have like it's sort of in this weird point where like they had the first few movies which are like the super like bright and colorful, like the CG car chases,
like
and it's like a video game.
Furious.
Yeah, and then you get to Fast and Furious 4, which is like they go really gritty and like real, and it's like the cartels and it's like the FBI. And, like you can just tell that the vibe changes, and then we never really see that again because then it goes into like the fun
superhero
team.
movies.
Yeah, so I feel like it sort of suffers a bit because it is trying to be more serious, but in terms of just the character level, I feel like it's. I don't know. It's not as bad as I remember it being. It's still not like the best movie, but I think it deserves more credit than it gets.
Okay.
For just bringing the series. People say Fast and Furious 5 got it back on track. I honestly think it's 4. You know, 4 got the characters back together.
Like 4.
It was sort of like a build-up kind of thing. They set it up for all the other ones.
100%. They're like, we've tried other things, but like the franchise really doesn't work without Vin Diesel. So yeah.
Those were good points.
Yeah, I think going back and rewatching them, the one that kind of hurt me the most was Too Fast Too Furious, because I really liked this. Like back then, I thought it was better than like 1, and like it was pretty high for me. And then going back and rewatching them, it was. This hurts to say because I still enjoy it a lot. It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like nothing much really happens. So I mean, we get introduced to Roman Pierce.
Yeah.
We get their whole relationship with Brian and Robin, which is pretty good. But pretty much nothing really happens. It's all fun at the end when they all have the cars all coming out of the garage and all that pit stuff, and the car jumping off onto the boat, which was pretty fun. But yeah, like I'm surprised that one is as low as it is on my list, because it would have been like number 6 or 5.
What was it on your list again?
Number 8, so second worst.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so rip to Fast and Furious.
I would say there is like a common theme in like most of the Fast and Furious movies where one of the family members has betrayed like the family, and they're sort of trying to reconnect again.
Yeah.
That's true. You look at like Fate of the Furious with Dom
yeah.
Brian,
And then Letty.
Letty, yeah, 100%. Now that you put it like that, it seems a lot less creative and then just like recycling the same.
It's like a TV episode. It's like, which one are we gonna like pick out for this week?
You're so right though, because even the villains all start off as villains and then they become like part of the family, and then like the people who are friends become villains. It's just like this constantly moving like who's gonna be the
villain? I didn't even think about that. It's so true.
Yeah, I'm so right.
Yeah. Although where'd you have Tokyo Drift? Did you say
Tokyo Drift is my second last.
Okay, we have it pretty low on the list, but it's not the worst. Jaden.
The worst.
I just think Too Fast Too Furious is just sort of like it has moments, but Tokyo Drift just has I gotta give it respect for just totally going to a completely different place, and it's just this. It's like the weird like sort of just like random chapter in this story that really they tried to fold back in like Fury 7.
Yeah.
But it still sits there as like this this strange little experiment.
You could literally just not watch it and it'd still be fine. You get introduced to like Lucas Black in number 7. But I honestly like watching it again. I had a lot more fun with Tokyo Drift like this time around. It's just a fun, simple movie. Lucas Black is alright in it. Like
he's not. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Lucas Black is shit.
He's definitely a huge burden.
I think he was trying to fulfill like the stereotypical like American kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's like playing 17 or something.
And he's 24. He was 24.
And he looks like 40.
Yeah.
And his accent is like all over the place.
It's even worse in like 7 when you see like modern day Lucas Black in the scene after the Tokyo Drift replay.
I don't know. The thing that ruins that movie for me is I just can't connect with his character. Like they have some interesting ideas of like the military father or whatever, and all of that. But like I just can't like deal with his character. I'm gonna drift these cars. And, Anyways,
where did you guys have Fate of the Furious again?
Mine was number 5. So I remember first time watching in the cinema, I was like, damn, this is just stupid, but it's so fun. And over time, it's like, it's pretty shit. Like, I didn't like it. And then watching it last night, I was like, this is so much fun. Like, I had a lot of fun in this movie. And
Fate of the Furious?
Yeah.
I haven't even talked. It's not even on my bottom 5. So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's actually not on mine either.
It's just great. Like, well, it's number 5 for me, but
It was number 7 for me, so that means I had it lowest.
Yeah. Well, tell us why.
yeah.
Well,
Because we're going to talk about
the franchise has just gotten like more silly per entry, but the other day, I haven't watched the whole film in a while, but we were watching like the final battle on the ice, and just the over dramatic music and just the cheesy one
part of the charm.
I get that, and that's what makes like Fast 5, 6,
Yeah.
7 pretty good. But in 8, it was just so. It didn't work as well as when Justin Lin was directing the films, and James Wan just managed to do it, I feel, but F. Gary Gray, I don't think really, for me, captured the true Fast and Furious spirit.
See, yeah, like,
I don't know.
I was like, these points I agreed with just 2 days ago. Like, seriously, like, I genuinely did. And then yesterday, like last night, I literally just watched it, and it felt really Fast and Furious-y to me, especially when like seeing them all together. And the thing with these movies is that they feel really quick. Like, I remember like watching the first 4. Yeah, that's which we'll get to later. But yeah, Fate of the Furious felt really quick to me because first of all they were getting the EMP, and then they were in New York, and then all of a sudden they're in Russia or somewhere like in the ice place. Yeah, they were all of a sudden there, and I was like, wait, that was 2 hours like just gone. So I think that kind of helps it. And I love the prison fight. I've loved that since the first time seeing it.
I just can't stand Charlize Theron as villain.
I agree.
All of them have like a cliche gangster villain, but I'd rather that than Charlize Theron going on about.
I think it's a dialogue that just cakes it.
I think they did that though because I'm pretty sure she was just in and like Atomic Blonde. So I think they
That's
probably,
right.
thought she was a badass, that she could fulfill that role.
Well, funnily enough, so F. Gary Gray, who did the movie,
Yeah.
I feel like it was pretty much hired because he did the Italian Job
Yeah.
back in the day, which had Charlize Theron and
David
Jason
referencing
Statham
Hobbs
in
and
it.
Shaw.
So he'd already worked with these two people from the franchise. He'd done a car heist action movie, and so I think it made sense that he would then sort of bring her in that villain role. But
She just wasn't right for it, I don't feel.
well, all right. So you and I seem to be thinking about it on a similar level, where it's in our top, 4.
Yeah.
Where did you have it?
Should we-
give it
should
a
we-
second?
Should we wait until we get there?
Did we all say
we
Hobbs
should-
and Shaw?
Okay, all right. Well, we'll bring up the conversation about Fate of the Furious later. 'Cause I got some
Where
big
did
points.
you guys have Hobbs and Shaw? Did you even say?
No, I wasn't sure. Top 4.
Okay.
So let's finish the top.
I had
the
it
bottom
at number 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, we'll move on to that in a second.
Yeah. So we'll read your 4 to 1.
Wait, hang on.
Alright.
Real quick. I just got a couple of points.
Okay.
Just to make about Tokyo Drift.
All right.
Sorry.
Sorry, Jaden.
I just felt like Tokyo Drift, it gave us harm. So for all of the bad things,
You got to give us harm.
you got to
Jaden.
give us harm, which is probably one of the best characters in the series.
Yeah, going back and watching them, I'm like, I miss Han so much.
I know, 100%.
Like even his small appearance in 4, like at the start.
The one thing I gotta give the franchise is that they do, like, you lose characters along the way. Like, they're not afraid to kill off characters and then, retire characters.
Yeah.
But, the cast changes a lot as you go along.
I totally didn't expect Gal Gadot to like die in 6.
Mm.
I thought that was out of nowhere as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
props.
But I like it. But and then just the whole like fact that they tried to then put the other problem with Tokyo Drift as well is that it's technically supposed to be set in 2015.
And they still have the flip
And they
phones.
have flip phones. It's just so clearly set.
Yeah, because then there's that fight at the top, and it's like, you sold me a broken iPod. I'm like, is anyone still using an iPod now?
it's ridiculous. So that's a little distracting. But I do think Han is awesome. And then in Fast and Furious 4 he's in the top. And then there's that little like the other film Justin Lin did.
Better
with
Luck Tomorrow.
him.
Is that?
Yeah, which is like people say is like Han's like origin story.
Because he's in it, and he's also called Han.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So little side note, we should have added that to the list.
You heard of it.
No, check it out.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
top 5.
4 to 1.
Top 4.
Yeah. 4 to 1.
Alright.
Again,
So
Chris.
at number 4, I've actually got number 5. Yep.
Wait,
And
what?
Oh, okay.
All right, this is unexpected.
And
Number 3.
number 3 I have as number 8. So fair.
Okay.
Shit.
Okay.
Yeah. And then second is 6. And then obviously 1 is 7, just because I like the tribute.
Okay.
Fair enough. Where did you have number 1? It was number like
Number
7 or
1.
something.
Yeah, the first one you had at like,
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. We forgot to
pretty
mention-
low.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we-
I had it like, it was 7.
Yeah, because we've got it sort of.
Okay. Alright, number 4, I've got Furious 7. At number 3, I've got Fast and Furious 6. Number 2, this one really came out of nowhere for me upon rewatch, but number 2 is the original, The Fast and the Furious.
Wow.
You're correct.
And number 1 is Fast 5. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
For me, number 4 is the first one, Fast and the Furious. Number 3 is Furious 7. Number 2 is Fast and Furious 6. And number 1 is Fast 5 as well.
Did you guys rank Hobbs and Shaw now?
Yeah.
Hobbs
mine
and
was
Shaw
number
was
5.
my number 6.
Number 6.
So I read it,
Okay,
but I
okay,
guess we'll
okay.
get into it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I had as number 4 Hobbs and Shaw. Number 3 The Fate of the Furious. Number 2 The Fast and the Furious. And number 1 Fast 5.
Yeah.
So we agree.
We
We agree with The Fate of the Furious.
Hmm.
And then what was your number 1? Fast 5. Yeah, no, we pretty much
We all
with
agree
the
on
top-
Fast
the top
5.
The 3 of us are in agreement on Fast 5 except for Kurtis.
So let's hear.
Does the tribute like bring it up a notch for you?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe I just resonated with it differently.
Did you cry?
Emotional
I
Kurtis.
cried many times.
No, 100%. The ending does give you a kick, but I still think that Fast and Furious 7 is pretty weak. Gotta say.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Like while re-ranking it, I was like, I love Furious 7 for how they played it off, and massive like credit to the production
100%.
team. Like,
But
the
to be
crew
fair, they
for
did
it.
have like a lot of like stuff in the way. Like they had to recreate scenes with his brother and all
Yeah.
that. I can understand if like they put too much time into that and didn't really get it.
Yeah.
So like
They did a good job with all that.
when I'm trying to re-rank it, I'm like, oh, I love the tribute, but looking at it from an entertainment standpoint, from how it ranks up to the other movies, it kind of fell short. It was number 4, so it's still like reasonably high, but it would have been like number 2 or 3 maybe like a couple weeks ago.
I really enjoyed most of the film except for probably the final fight when they're is it LA?
The
And
hot
the
potato.
Street always wins.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's
That's
right.
a little bit cringe.
Thing about street fights, the street always wins.
And the drones flying around, it's just like, what is going on? And
But
freaking
I
Dwayne
love
Johnson
the-
driving the ambulance, perfect
That was
time.
amazing.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
flexing of the cast.
Yeah.
Daddy's didn't go to work.
I can forgive anything with the Rock in it,
That's-
unfortunately.
But I do love the little tribute in the LA thing where they're in the cars and it goes underneath like the trucks, like that little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was nice because Brian's like, the time to go old school. I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, this just reminded me of an interesting news story, which we might get to in the next episode.
Okay.
But where they were talking about the action contracts that they have.
Oh,
with Avengers.
yeah.
Oh, true,
And
yeah.
specifically through like the examples in Fast and Furious 7.
It shows.
What was the example we were just talking about? The street always wins.
Yeah.
Where it's like the franchise, you have to have like no one can like win the fight. The fights are always interrupted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one in a fist. Like in hand-to-hand combat, no one ever wins. It's always called a stalemate. Like Fast 5, like
Because I
with The
didn't
Rock
realize it
and-
until seeing that. Because
Yeah.
Fate of the Furious, The Rock and Jason at the prison, all of those fights.
No one ever wins. And then like in Furious 8, these names are just taking it out of me. The
Yeah.
Fate of the Furious.
Yeah.
When The Rock grabs Chris Hemsworth's wife and then they get blown out of the building.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they have to keep bringing up during the movie that The Rock didn't run away from the fight. He didn't leave the
Because in
fight.
number 8, they keep saying, oh, 1-on-1, I can beat you. I'm
Yeah.
like, are you gonna give it to us or
Yeah,
what?
but they
I think the problem is they want build up like that because obviously the
Yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw film
Yeah.
they want that build up just so that they could put it in there, and even in that film there wasn't really any
No.
sort of action.
It was
towards
just
them.
all talk and no show.
And then they made up sort of at the end.
Yeah. But like, it's just so funny how like they just have these like contracts going on. And Vin Diesel's like okay, you can have 2 punches and
No, I have to say, I was-
and a headbutt equals a kick and like
I was rewatching that fight scene between Vin Diesel and Jason Statham.
Yeah.
And Vin Diesel's the one that cops all the hits with the crowbar in the face. Jason Statham actually never got hit with the crowbar.
interesting. But he still loses
Because I was watching,
Because the street always wins.
parking complex falls on him and he's fine.
Oh.
But yeah, I went back to rewatch it because I heard about that and I was like, I was surprised how many hits Vin Diesel was taking, but yeah, obviously he won in the end.
Yeah, but it's just interesting. Like you just go back through those movies thinking about that. Like when Vin Diesel and The Rock fought, like no one wins, right?
Yeah.
Like actually no, you're right. Vin Diesel does win that fight because he has the like spanner in his
Yeah,
hand.
and Mia's like, oh no. And
Yeah,
puts it
you're
on the
right.
floor.
You're right. So technically, Vin does win that fight.
That's what makes that fight so special because it's,
Yeah.
it's so brutal.
Yeah.
I love
Like
that.
smashing into
movies that-
walls and all of that.
I agree.
They just look so angry.
I feel like that's why he didn't get along with The Rock because he's like, I want to be The Rock, and then Rock's just like, well, you're not.
I can
Yeah.
literally beat you.
Yeah. Like a Cherokee drum.
Oh my
Like
god.
the Cherokee drum. No, but Furious 7, I had it at number 6 just because, like, watching it all back to back, I was surprised at how much I didn't enjoy 6 and 7 as much as I thought I did.
That's right, 6, yeah.
And, like, I appreciated like, how 6 goes straight to 7. They bring in, like, Jason Statham as the brother of, like, Deckard Shaw, Owen Shaw.
Yeah.
Too many Shaws at this point. But, like, I appreciated that, there's, like, the carryover into movies. how they dealt with like they finally went back to Tokyo, and there were things in that movie that work, and then they start, I don't know, just the God's Eye thing, and
Yeah.
I don't know, there's just some elements that I just felt like
It does feel a little bit corporate.
Yeah, it does. It's literally like we've got to tick all the boxes.
Yeah.
100%.
I felt that more with Fate of the Furious.
I think-
corporate.
Yeah. For Furious
But I feel
7.
like they did that on purpose, though. They were sort of just
Yeah.
like,
Well,
we've got all these
So,
good
yeah,
actors.
'cause
Well,
the
they're
Furious
the
seven-
$2 billion entries, so
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, for me, Furious 7, like, I remember feeling this way when it came out, but I was pretty disappointed by how little Jason Statham was in the movie.
In
Um,
7.
In 7,
He
yeah.
literally, like,
He's
just
not a
shafted
villain,
him.
he's an inconvenience.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you have the God's Eye people, I'm not going to butcher their names, but yeah, and then there's so many people in 7, so many threats, and the one that you built up in 6 shows up for maybe like 20 minutes. And at the end, the street always wins.
My biggest problem with we'll get to it in Hobbs Shaw.
Yeah.
My biggest problem is that the entire time, and it is my biggest problem with Fate of the Furious, is that he killed Han, and there's no consequences.
Yeah. I was expecting, like, I remember he was like, Vin Diesel was like really pissed off about it, and then it somehow just went away. Like, what happened?
Yeah. There's like, they try to mask it with like one line in Hobbs and Shaw when he's like, I've done things that I regret, or something along those lines.
Things I'm not proud of.
Yeah, I've done things I'm not proud of, and I'm like, yeah.
He literally blew up their house with the baby right there. Like, he was trying to murder Brian's little kid in the car.
Father
As well
of the
as
year,
Mia,
though,
who was
closing
pregnant
the door.
Again, like, how? And then he rescues the baby that he tried to kill in the last movie. Actually, no, 'cause
Different
it's
baby.
Yeah, different two babies.
That is Brian, but baby Brian.
Speaking of babies, let's go into Fate of the Furious.
Okay. Because, yeah, like I said, this really shot up for me. I was really surprised at how high it ended up being. So, yeah.
I was gonna say, like, the baby oil meter in Fate of the Furious.
Yeah,
Not as good as the other two.
that's true.
And it's where the baby oil starts sort of disappearing a little bit, unfortunately.
Although maybe the Rock's prison, like, lacked baby oil.
That's fair. But it didn't seem to lack anything else, because that scene is...
What do we think of Scott Eastwood?
Is he gonna be in 9 and
I think he is.
10 and stuff?
I'd expect him to be, yeah.
I actually thought it was pretty funny. They keep making fun of him the whole time, like, where he's like little
nobody.
Yeah. I actually didn't think it was that bad.
At first, I was like, well, obviously he's trying to be like a Brian spin-off thing, but then I realized that two were actually like pretty good friends in real life. I'm like, okay, it's not so bad. I can see what they're pushing towards, but
My problem is he just has absolutely nothing to do. He contributes nothing, really.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I think the problem that I'm seeing with the franchise is that they're running out of characters. Because you think about it, like, of the original, of like, if you say the core characters, which they had in like Fast and Furious 6,
yeah.
right? You got Brian, Dom, Letty, Mia, The Rock, Elsa, whatever Chris Hemsworth's wife's character's name was. Han, Gal Gadot, Ludacris, and Tyrese.
Yeah.
Like, The Rock's gone.
Han's dead.
Han's dead. Gal Gadot's gone. Mia's like, they brought Mia back.
For 9, yeah.
Brian's
We'll get
gone.
into that.
Like,
Yeah.
they're running out of characters, you know. So they're trying to like add in new.
They got John Cena for the 9th.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
There's a door in my way.
We haven't touched on it, but Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the newest one. Just for a refresher, where did you guys have it on your list?
I had it at number 5.
Number 5, yeah.
Number 4.
Number 6.
Yeah.
Alright, so like
So
around the
middle,
same sort
yeah.
of mark. Oof. Yeah, so I guess
I feel like they could have tied all of like the segments a little bit better. So sort of like, you know, like at the very end, they just somehow it's like, oh, one place that
it
can
just
fix
ends.
this.
The movie literally just ends. I remember we saw it, and then because they fought Idris Elba, and then they're like, oh, everyone had their sidekicks, and all of a sudden it's directed by David Leitch. I'm like, that's it? And the thing is, the movie already felt so long, and for it to end just like that is like,
But it didn't end because it kept going during the credits.
That's true.
It honestly, the movie just went for another 10 minutes after that. Whereas here's another whole scene with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. I was really surprised by how much he was in the movie.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I would put Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Him and his tattoo. He's just
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Let's go through it sort of from the beginning.
Yeah.
And let's go through because there's a lot to break down.
Yeah.
I want so. What sort of at the start? Idris Elba's character. First thing.
Oh, he's like Charlize Theron, just spewing out absolute garbage.
What would you rather? Actually, what do you prefer? Do you prefer Charlize Theron's Cypher or Idris Elba?
Idris Elba,
because he's
Idris Elba.
You do his impression.
What was the quote again? It's like,
I am human evolution.
I am human evolution.
No, Idris Elba is.
What was it? I'm the future of the planet.
Kind of reminds me of Genesis. Kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, his character I thought was kind of okay, it was interesting stuff that they had there, but they didn't do anything with it, and then it got wrapped up in him spewing out this manifesto for the future of mankind.
Because I remember Vanessa Kirby says one thing. She's like, "So what do you do with all that? Do you count your money after the blood or something?" It's like, we're looking after technology or something like that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They tried to do it with the backstory with Jason Statham.
Which was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, it was like, hello again, Deckard. Hello again,
Brixton.
And I was like,
yeah.
He's going to be part of the family, isn't he?
Oh, he'll go to space with them in 10.
Also, I'm still not really sure about how they turned. How they were trying to turn The Rock.
Oh, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
How they bring them onto the cause,
my
and they're so clearly not going to say yes.
Yeah. Unless they've somehow figured out mind control,
Yeah.
it's not
I mean, if they can mechanically make Idris Elba into a robot.
I liked how he said no though. He was like, I just don't want to do this. Can we just kill them? And then the voice, the mysterious voice, which I have theories about, but we'll get to that in the end.
Yeah.
Vanessa Kirby. What do you think?
I love her. Well, I mean,
I love her.
I love her, but she was also a great addition into the movie too. She owned all her scenes, and she was fantastic. I genuinely really liked her in the movie.
She played the same character that she did in Mission Impossible.
I'm glad she had more to do in this.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, she was fun.
She was great.
Still weird though that she's playing the sister to Jason Statham, who's
20. That's 20 years old.
Yeah, 20 years
the age
old.
difference.
I wasn't sure about the romance between her and The Rock. There's
something weird about that. I didn't dig it.
If she wants to climb this mountain,
this brown tattooed mountain.
That's gonna be the pull quote for this whole episode.
What did Jason Statham say? Oh yeah, you're just like balls dangling off a bulldog, seemingly harmless. Then they try to impregnate your sister, and then Kevin Hart shows up out of nowhere.
It's so bad. Anyways.
Yeah.
Do you think that was improv or was that written in the script?
I wouldn't be surprised if some of those were improv.
Yeah.
Should probably be best if they did it improv.
Yeah.
The Rock and Statham have fantastic chemistry.
Yeah. Even from the first meeting when they're like, no fucking way. And what did Jason Statham say? He says, oh yeah, your face is like God projectile vomiting into my eyes and it burns.
Yeah. What does he say about Jason Statham's voice?
Oh, it's like your voice is like dragging my ball sack on shattered glass.
It's so dumb, God, but I love it.
It's just the most
it's biggest dick
it's the
measuring
most
contest.
masculine movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you want to take the epitome of
man.
masculinity,
I think it's gone a little bit further though. It's more egotistical now. It's sort of I'm
true.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Love me.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
And then at the end they're like, I got you, brother. And then at the very, very end they're like, oh, you're my sidekick. I'm like, what?
Yeah, where did this happen?
Yeah.
The way it started, them hating each other, was kind of like, oh, but they kind of became buddy-ish in number 8 when they laughed at each other. Insults, and they're like, oh yeah.
But I think I still like that even at the end they still have a.
They're
That was
brotherly
even when he calls the
relationship.
police on at the end, they're still not best buds, which is good because I don't think they should be.
No.
Yeah, because that make
Until the next one.
What do we think about the Transformer bike?
That was so
Oh my
weird.
fucking god.
Shit was whack.
Cause like during the truck scene, and he's just like riding on the back, and there was
underneath. Oh,
there was the one
nuts.
in was it Russia?
Ukraine.
Fuck, they've been to Russia.
Too many
Every-
places.
Yeah,
In
now that I
Ukraine.
realised it though,
Yeah.
every single like later film always seems to be there's this new technology that has like never been invented
Oh, it's
before.
so annoying. And it never showed. Oh, actually, no. I gotta say, I want to come back to Fate of the Furious in a bit, but
Yeah.
I do like that they, in Fate of the Furious, they did bring back God's
God's
Eye.
Eye, yeah.
So maybe they will be smart enough to bring back the virus. Although I don't think they really cared about the virus. Because the issue is that the movie, Hobbs and Shaw felt like it was in between. Like, we really want you to take this virus seriously because we keep fucking talking about it. But at the end, it's like, there's another virus. This one melts your skin off instead of...
right,
and
right.
they make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, if we're going to just... like, the MacGuffin is not important to this movie. Like, please stop trying to make this evil corporation and its plans.
I will say though, it did kind of feel like a little bit Deadpool-y, like the way
Yeah.
it was sort of created.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's David Leitch.
Yeah.
Mm.
With the virus, the whole aspect of that in the plot, I feel like they didn't build enough tension around that. Like they mentioned, like at the start, she has 72 hours or whatever before it starts,
That's
and then you sort of, it's just they're going between Ukraine and Samoa and all these.
Yeah.
I'm like, surely it's been 72 hours.
It was like Mission Impossible 2. Like, same like, I took the virus to stop them from getting it. It's literally the same plot.
Don't mention Mission
I also
Impossible
love
2.
how apparently the daylight works differently in Samoa.
Yeah. You could tell it was like terribly color graded to look like sunrise.
Like grey,
Yeah.
like during that middle bit, and then all of a sudden they're like, let's put it up all the way.
Yeah, it went from like night to day in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
It's so
I
funny.
love their excuse for that. They did all the night shots, and then they did just one single shot of the sun rising in a helicopter, and then cut back to daytime.
100%,
Just like-
yeah.
And then it was dark again. 'cause
And
there
then
was
it's
a big
like a
storm.
fucking storm.
The
at
biggest
end.
storm in like 10 years or something.
And it was like pitch
conveniently.
black.
Oh,
Oh,
Because
God.
Drag and I were discussing before we went in, because the trailers showed like them and Samoa at night,
Yeah.
but then it was also daytime. But then there's also that boss fight between
Yeah.
Idris, Jason, and The Rock, and we're like, obviously this is all
Time
at the end,
travel.
but what's the order? Because it's like different times a day.
Yeah.
And then
it's a
obviously
10-hour long battle.
Alright, so next up, the cameos. What did we think?
love Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah.
Kevin Hart. It's
Peter from
Oh.
Deadpool 2 was pretty good.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart was just too long.
At first, I was like, and
Yeah.
then it just,
But then he kept going on
Yeah.
about like, we're the 3 alphas, we're the apex predators.
My big theory is that the next movie will be called Hobbs and Shaw and Dinkley, which is Kevin Hart's character, and it's going to be the 3 of them. And then you might be asking, well, wait, why can't Ryan Reynolds be on the team as well? It's because Ryan Reynolds is going to be the bad guy. He's going to be the voice of that, Etion or whatever.
Nah.
Because, no, legit, you go on Reddit, I didn't really notice it because I was convinced it was going to be Keanu Reeves the whole
It
time.
sounded
which
like
was
him
going
at
to be.
times, yeah.
If you listen to that voice again, it is Ryan Reynolds, 100%. Like, there's a whole Reddit thread where people analyzed it and they went through the voice, and the
Jesus.
voice of that Etion
Etion.
director was Ryan Reynolds. So whether or not he'll play the actual person behind the scenes, but apparently
Guess we'll have to watch it again.
Ryan Reynolds. So I reckon Ryan Reynolds,
As
big
a villain
bad.
would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
But could you take him seriously though?
I think that's part of the fun.
that's
Yeah.
true.
I
So
mean-
Yeah,
the Keanu Reeves would have been so good. Why? Can we just
Yeah.
can we just have Keanu, please?
Yeah.
Because I don't think has Ryan ever played a villain before.
I mean, that Green Lantern movie was pretty good. So,
The whole
I
movie was
don't
a
know.
villain. I don't know.
I just don't think he could.
oh, he has in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
That was Scott Adkins.
He played Weapon X.
Ryan Reynolds / Scott Adkins. They were both.
He was barely Ryan. Like they took his mouth out and
Yeah.
everything.
But yeah, there you go.
I don't think so.
I would honestly rather Keanu be
Yeah.
the villain.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just everyone was like, it's Ryan Reynolds doing that voice. I was like,
Okay.
maybe because they
That's
just had him.
interesting.
They used him. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I honestly reckon that they'll like add Kevin Hart to the team, not for the whole movie, but for like
For a bit of it.
at least a scene, because they spent so long in that character, like with the character on the
Yeah.
plane.
Well,
like,
if the next Jumanji movie is just as successful as the last one, then maybe they will. Yeah. 'Cause I think
But I don't think they should resort to that sort of like having to get all these popular actors just so people will watch the film.
Yeah.
I think it's just like you've done the Hobbs and Shaw relationship, and the title is so perfect where you can have Hobbs and Shaw and someone, and I feel like that's just that to me that makes sense that you just throw another wild card into the team, and like see how then the two of them then work with him, even though it's stupid, but I feel like they spent too much time setting up that character.
But how would he work out in sort of like action wise? Like just seeing Kevin Hart like ducking out of the way of bullets would just be.
Has he been in an action
really
movie?
funny.
I mean, apart from Jumanji.
Central Intelligence.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
Rock, yeah.
No wonder I forgot about that.
I reckon he could do it.
He'd be the Tyrese of the Hobbs and Shaws.
100%.
True.
Because their balance is all off. They need a third squatty.
But at least like Tyrese like kind of accepted it. He's sort of like, yeah, alright, I'm number 11.
Oh,
Can we
yeah,
please
with
play
the
the
door
clip
and
of
the
him crying
number
right
11
now?
my ass.
Right now. Thanks.
Oh, Tyrese.
Anyways, so what else? What else happened in that fucking movie?
I wasn't sure. Oh, Isa Gonzalez is a small role. Do you reckon they could bring her back for like a sequel?
Wait, who?
Margarita.
Oh, she's on the poster?
Yeah.
She's in the movie for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know. They definitely went and going all in on the family. Like, we got the whole family. They didn't bring in Owen.
Yeah, they're bringing
I
Luke
know,
Evans.
but,
I was kind of disappointed with that.
Especially with like the shot at the end of like Helen Mirren coming out and seeing her
Yeah.
like 2 children. I'm like, you had another child.
Because it sounds so weird in Fate of the Furious when Helen Mirren's just like, gotta do it with your brother. And then this
Yeah.
one it's like, how's your sister? And it's like,
Yeah.
you forgetting about the other one?
But I kind of like the Hobbs and Shaw Avengers assemble with all of Hobbs' family and Shaw's family.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah, that would be.
Getting them all running at once at, I don't know, Ryan Reynolds'
Idris Elba brought back from the dead.
Oh,
100%. Oh, big theory. The top comment on Reddit on the official discussion was that they're going to use the technology that they had that brought Brixton back to life after he got shot in the head for Han.
They
Robot
that's
Han?
Robot Han, and then Han's going to be the villain again. Like you said, they always bring back people as villains. and
Good.
here, like, this
I'd rather
one.
keep my
Han's
Han
gonna
like
be the
how
villain.
he is. I like my Han eating chips, not
It just
getting
turns
wires.
into Transformers.
Oh,
Everything.
honestly.
Literally.
Gosh.
And I think people would be absolutely furious if Han was the villain and Jason Statham's the good guy trying to kill Han.
Yeah,
at the end.
imagine that. Okay,
Oh.
yeah, that's good.
Actually, that'd be pretty good.
you
It'd be
sold
pretty
me.
funny.
I'd still pay to see it, but
No, that's just ethical, like a catastrophe right there.
that's a real shift in the family.
I do think that like I appreciate that they got David Leitch, because it seems like he directed the shit out of like kind of iffy script. Like he got it and he was like, we're gonna have fun with this. We're gonna throw in the slow mos.
Oh.
We're gonna make the action pretty decent. We're gonna get a transformer bike. We're gonna do. There was a couple of like, oh, it's kind of giving me Suicide Squad flashbacks where it's like, here's a pop song, and
There
another
was
one.
so much
And
songs
so
in
much
that
music.
movie. Oh my god.
But yeah,
One thing that pissed me off in this movie, I told Declan this, the editing was disgusting. I hated
reckon?
You know that
I gotta
scene?
rewatch it.
You know that scene, the shocking scene?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, true.
That was terrible. Like that, I wanted to cry.
I bet we can take 5. And then they get shocked like 4 times and they're fine,
Yeah,
man.
and the stupid joke, it's like, oh, did I say you could, or something like that? Did I say you could talk? And he's like, your mum. I'm like, only the Rock would.
And Dragon pointed out something about that scene that I didn't even notice, but when he brought it up, I was like, oh, that's right. He broke the 180 rule in that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Jason is sitting on the left side and the Rock's sitting on the right side, but it looks like the Rock is filmed from his left side and Jason from his right side. It sounds very confusing, but you know.
There you go.
They just fucked
And
up.
then it's more confusing when they did the bird's eye shot and the Vanessa Kirby's in the background, but the Rock
But
is
she's
looking
actually
the wrong
coming from that way.
Oh, we should do a breakdown
Yeah,
video.
scene
that
for scene breakdown.
That just goes through like all of the cinematography. Probably.
Look, I mean,
It was more editing, to be honest, because they probably shot it from like
Yeah,
so
they
many
did.
angles.
Something so simple, but you know, yeah.
Ah well.
How much of the actors have creative input over it?
Well, The Rock and Jason
Jason,
Statham
no.
were producers.
But
Oh,
I
for
feel
sure.
like Jason Statham's producing credit was just...
Jason Statham. Yeah.
But how much do they really like know about
I feel like The Rock would
The
have
Rock
a lot.
definitely.
Yeah, it's big. I feel like The Rock would own that movie.
Well, especially the whole Samoa ending.
Yeah,
That would.
yeah.
I love that small ending though. That's pretty cool.
His character's gone from being like a character to just being him. Like there's
Actually,
literally no distinction
He's
between.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, just like Luke Hobbs in like Fast 5 to Luke Hobbs now. I'm like, your character? What are you? You're so
Yeah.
Because he's like cracking jokes now, but in Fast 5 he still has some jokes, but it's pretty dry. And he's like, "Oh, you're going down Toretto," and he's like really ruthless. And now he's like, "Daddy's got to go to work."
That scene is still, again, going back to the actual ranking, like Fast 5, that moment where his entire team gets killed,
Yeah.
and he's on the ground, like probably the best moment that character's ever had. Like
Honestly,
that movie is just still so good. Like it had everything that we're talking about with the action and the spectacle and stuff, but it actually still was the last time I really felt like it had like heart to it. Because that scene would be like one of my top 3 scenes in the whole series.
Yeah.
So good.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
What about Fast 6? It had lots of heart when Vin Diesel drove his car into the side of the thing to catch Letty when she.
Oh
flipped off
my
it.
god. How did she
Oh,
not get
yeah.
like squished?
That's not hard. That's just brains. Like that was so smart.
Dom Toretto is a superhero. I'm telling you, Tony Stark wouldn't have died if they got Dom for the Avengers.
Yeah. Can you imagine? You know in Avengers when Tony like takes the nuke up into space and
Yeah.
the Hulk catches him. It's actually just Vin Diesel driving
Dom
his
drives
car,
up
and then,
into
like,
the-
Dom catches
yeah.
him like. Oh god. But yeah, Hobbs and Shaw. It's kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
franchise.
We all have in like similar places.
Yeah.
So they had what kept it going, I think, is the $200 million budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Start off good, middle act was a bit of a drag, and then the
honestly,
final
like,
act was fun.
Yeah.
Going into it, I just wanted to see some Samoa shit. Like, that's
Yeah.
all I wanted to see.
I still though, like having said that, like Fate of the Furious is like sort of like top of the list for me.
Yeah.
Like just because it takes some big swings. It does the thing with Dom where it puts him against a team, which before you brought up the fact that it happens every movie, I was like
Yeah.
pretty like smart decision there.
Yeah, they brought
But
back
I
the
still
Lady.
think it's cool, and it proved that the series can work without the O'Connors.
Yeah,
Which
well,
up to that point,
until 9.
yeah,
Mia
yeah.
comes
Well,
back.
I guess Mia, but I guess sort of like it's like how does this work without
Yeah.
Brian?
I'm surprised at how well it flowed because you have the Dom and Brian like
Yeah.
relationship, and this one, I'm surprised at how well it still worked.
Yeah, Vin Diesel goes from like being like a criminal to being like this like savior, like
Superhero.
ultimate father figure. Yeah, superhero.
Yeah.
But I still think the New York car chase is awesome.
I like that. I like
Um,
that chase. Yeah, it was pretty
But given that I felt like that one was pretty good, they're not getting worse. I'm keen for Fast 9.
good. All right.
And we'll finish it up on the
We'll
first one.
we'll talk about the first one.
What did we all have it? Let's remind us.
I had the first one in second place.
Same.
I had it in 4th place.
And I had it in 7th.
Oh,
Yeah. To be fair, I think I gave that a little bit too harsh because then I did kind of, when I was rewatching a little bit of the action scenes, I realized that they actually did do quite well with what they had.
at
Yeah.
the time, yeah.
So
I still think it's a fine. It's just Point Break, and I love Point Break.
Yeah.
And yeah, you got some classic quotes like
I'll have the tuna.
No crust.
"No crust."
I was surprised by how much I really enjoyed the first one because it's just a simple movie. It's just about an undercover cop, and what surprised me was that you don't even realize he's an undercover cop until like half an hour into the movie or
100%.
40 minutes into the movie.
When they do that thing where they arrest him, and
Yeah,
they
and-
take off the cuffs.
Yeah,
and
because
stuff,
I'm just there like, because I knew he was a cop, but then I'm like, oh shit, we don't know he's a cop
yeah,
Actually, it had quite a big character arc, didn't it?
for Brian.
100%.
Yeah.
Where he falls in love with Mia, and then he's trying not to like ruin it, and it's good.
It's probably like one of the biggest ones.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and they're still on DVD players, and yeah.
Did you know that there was a post-credit scene in the first one?
Yeah, with Dom
in, like,
in Mexico or
something
something,
like that,
right? Yeah.
No,
Nobody
that's
remembers
right.
that.
Because I remember Fast and Furious 6 had the intro at the start, and there were scenes in there, and I was like, where are
Remember
these?
this? Yeah.
Yeah, because there was the post credits, there was the Fast and Furious 4 short film before.
Los Bandolos
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, 100%.
no.
I still think the first one, yeah, it's a good movie. Solid. When we wouldn't have all of this if the first one hadn't had some really key elements which have now been dragged out.
I will say though, when I was watching it again, I've actually been to the I've seen the cars in real life, and they're actually a lot smaller.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where?
They're a lot smaller
In
than
Universal.
Yeah,
We went to Universal Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Very
right.
Yeah, they're quite small, yeah.
Yeah, they are very small. Like I will say, like when you see them in the movies, it's like these big truck-looking things.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're quite small.
In terms of characters, because you know how you have the original team in the Fast and the Furious, there's this one guy that just gets left out. His name's Leon in the mix. Where is he? Because his explanation is just... Because Brian goes back to the house and he says to Dom, where's Leon and Letty? And they're like, they're both long gone.
Right.
And this guy just gets shot. Because Jesse dies because he gets shot by...
Jesse was a great character in that movie. Like the scene where he bets all his money.
Oh, his dad's car.
And then they do that race, and then
sad,
he just keeps going, and like
that little scene with him and Brian where he's just talking about like his ADD or ADHD.
It's actually like some decent character. Like it's actually like a good.
For as many characters as there were in the movie, all of them got their place to shine.
Yeah.
Like Jesse, Vince, Leon. You know, everyone forgets.
And there's the whole thing between Vince and Brian.
That's fine. And their fight at the start.
Yeah. And then even bring that back to like them reunited Fast 5 and like
Rip
all
Vince.
that. It's just really good, and like the Coronas, lots of Coronas, lots of barbecues.
Sounds like my kind of place.
Yeah,
Hell
100%. So yeah.
And even that final like race car, like quarter-mile scene at the end was pretty cool too.
And how the fucking like the crash at the end, like a hell of a crash.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Great movies.
Only to be then tainted by the worst film in the franchise, Too Fast, Too Furious. But anyways,
That
what do we
hurts.
think about the future of the franchise? Fast 9, predictions, Fast 10. Are we going to space?
I think they should just give the fans what they want. We all want them to go to
We
space.
really do want them to go to space.
Like by 10, they have to.
We've been making jokes about space since like 7.
Yeah,
So,
and like at this point, I genuinely want them to go to space.
They really don't have much avenue left. Like they've pretty much done every place on the planet.
Yeah, on the yeah, exactly.
Australia. I haven't been to Australia.
That's true. They should drive on like the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
They should have Dom drive his car into the Sydney Opera House, launch himself across the harbour to catch Letty, who's then jumping off the harbour bridge, and then they land on a ferry
And go to Luna Park.
Toronto Zoo.
Yeah. What do you think John Cena, like, what role he'll play in the series? You reckon he'll just be like another Rock?
It'll be a villain, and then it'll be a good guy.
That's true.
True. Because we don't know who the villain is for that, do we?
Cypher's in it. It's Charlize
That's
Theron.
right.
But she'll be a good guy,
That's
won't she?
true.
Like, they'll do the same thing again.
We'll find out about her family. and then
How do
we'll
you
feel
think
bad.
How do you think they bring Mia into it, like without Brian?
Yeah.
Because I always wanted them both to just, you know,
Just staying
retire.
home with the
And I know
kids.
Jordana Bruce is not like getting much like roles, but I mean, in terms of this series, those two should just be left behind. It's either both of them or none of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I reckon what they might do, they might show her moving on. Actually, they could do that. I reckon.
Oh, but then Dom will beat the Buster's head in. He'll be like, "You broke my sister's heart."
But I think she can't be holding on to it.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'm surprised. I
It's
wonder
just
if
because her character, would just become like Brian. It's all about Brian.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they'll kill Brian or like something will happen to
No,
Brian.
it's too late for that. It's
I don't
too
know
late.
because what's
Well, it's sort of settled now because Paul Walker died ages ago now.
6 years ago.
And
They'll just say something about Brian.
But I know that could be it because it's like you'd think they might have killed him at the end of number 7, but they found a way to send him off nicely. But now that it's, you know,
Well,
it is a tragic real life thing, but it's sort of now we could kill him to make an interesting story.
Because I really
don't know.
doubt that Mia would be like, yeah, Brian's with the kids for this battle. I'm here now.
No, but it'll be plot related. It'll be like something to do with the past of the Torettos. Like, you know, like they've gone into our family
True.
history and
Do you reckon
they're going to blackmail the Torettos. And so we got to get Mia back because she has some knowledge that will help us with shrines.
What?
You know,
She
Who
can make a
knows?
good tuna sandwich without crust.
Yeah, exactly. She's got to make the ultimate tuna sandwich.
Do you reckon they'll pull like an Elena in Fate of the Furious and bring like CGI Brian just to kill him?
No. Although, call me crazy, but
You're crazy.
John Cena and Brian, they look very similar. Maybe John Cena's playing Brian.
Wait,
He
what?
fights the gym for
Brian on steroids.
Yeah, exactly. Brian, you look a little bit different now. It's like, it's adorable.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Guess
Anyways.
leave it all up in the air. We'll wait till May 2020.
better go to space.
I want them to go to
They
space.
should just get every WWE wrestler and
Roman
just put it
Reigns,
in that
that-
movie.
Roman Reigns was in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
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 Like, there's nothing in it.
I mean, well, The Rock's obviously one,
Yeah.
or was one.
I do think though that once they get a 9 and 10 out, we will get more spin-offs. We'll get
Yeah.
another Hobbs and Shaw. We'll get the female-centric one that they've.
That's right. Yeah.
We'll
But-
get just random stuff like
But
that.
they're not really like the MCU where they're sort of like taking their time
Yeah.
looking at what they can do. They're sort of shoving it all together. I feel like they're not
It's
really
weird timeline.
Like his what's the guy that was putting it all together? The MCU.
Oh, Kevin Feige.
Yeah, Kevin Feige. He wasn't it like he's been doing that for like 15 years now.
I don't know.
Although Chris Morgan has written all of them since 4, right?
Yeah.
Something
So,
4 or 5, yeah.
or 3. So one of them.
Well, speaking of like the MCU and like doing spin-offs and solo movies and that, we're at the point in Hobbs and Shaw where they're like, oh, we need someone to fix this thing and we need somewhere to go. It's like, what about Dom and
What about Ramsey?
Chris
Because they're the
and
best
Brand?
DSS.
Like all these people you've spent the past couple
What
movies
about-
with that are good at
yeah.
technology. Nah, let's just go.
What
to
about
solo.
Tej, who Brian literally says in the second one, the best mechanic on like the East Coast,
Yeah.
but you got to go to the best mechanic in Samoa, which is 15 hours away.
But when they go to space, he's going to be the best mechanic in the solar system.
Oh gosh, I
Aliens in Fast?
They're going to fly them out to fix the International Space Station.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get there and they're going to find, like, Han, and he's going to be on the space station.
Or they have
And
they'll be drifting lunar vehicles on the moon.
I'm down. I'm
Same.
down. And I honestly
Yeah.
think then they'll give like the main series a break for a while, and then in like 2040 they'll have Brian Toretto as the lead character, and then they'll have like they'll have a whole new crew.
And old Vin Diesel.
and they'll do a Halloween and they'll call it the Fast and the Furious again.
Damn, yeah, and literally, and it'll be Brian Toretto going undercover too.
Oh
Anyways.
gosh,
We'll see how it goes.
yeah.
But it's interesting when a series about undercover cops and cars
And stealing
became
players.
like the tentpole franchise for Universal Studios.
Yeah,
And like one of the biggest international successes of all time. Like,
it's crazy.
I guess people like action.
Yeah.
I guess people like, living life a quarter mile at a time.
And
drinking
big bald
Coronas.
guys.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
lots of bald men.
Yeah.
Shout out to bald men. And anything else? I think that brings us to the end. I feel like I've talked about this series more than I have ever talked about it.
After
Or never
after
needed
talking
to.
about Fast and Furious, my masculinity levels have gone up by like 110%.
My I need to go buy some baby oil and complete the transition into being a testosterone fueled family man.
Plus being bald, you gotta do that too.
That's true.
That's true. I gotta shave my head and grow a mean goatee. So yeah, join us for the next episode of Movies of the Future, which will be coming out at the beginning of September, in which I will shave my head, coat myself in baby oil.
Is that
I
a
hope you
problem?
guys will join us then. That'll be the.
Can you get the Rock's tattoo as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, the fact that Ryan Reynolds had that, I was like, is that kind of like a cultural appropriation or something? Like, it seemed a little bit weird. But anyways, it's gonna get weirder when he becomes the villain in the next one. Thank you guys for joining us. Head over to Movies of the Future to get all of your latest movie news and reviews, including lots of hot off the press stories about Fast 9, because Vin Diesel can't stop fucking posting about it on Instagram.
So true.
Every 2 days, it's like, I'm so thankful you guys are making. But it's like he puts the phone.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to like hold the phone properly. He's like right here, and he's just like, "Hey guys,
And
thanks
he,
for."
mispronounces his co-stars' names. I've got John Cena here with me.
Oh, that's so awkward. Anyways,
Alright.
head over there. Head over to theslopshack.com. Check out the other podcasts, the other episodes of this show. Subscribe to make sure you stay up to date. Leave a like because it helps with the algorithm. Thank you very much for Sexy Kurtis / Sneaky Kurtis / actual academic Kurtis who
Yes.
Academic.
managed to point out
Just
that
perfect Kurtis.
he can see the structure and the sort of the rhythm of the franchise more than we ever could.
He can play 3 instruments as well.
Oh,
What a
4,
once.
sorry,
can
4.
you
At the
I'm
same
not
time.
flexing.
Yeah. He doesn't need to. He goes to the gym.
Curtis special.
Kurtis special.
We just talk about Curtis.
Yeah.
That's the title. And I guess we'll see you again.
Till next time.
Until next time.
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Doc.
I wish they were Coronas. It's just
Yeah.
not the same.
I feel less manly without a corona.